Krikoko, krikoko. Hello and welcome to a new episode of Critical Coffee Considerations with me, Francis Beck, and special guest Charles from the Churchyard.
Hello, everybody.
We're here in Norcia. We're at the end of a big road trip.
Amazing,
That started at Lego Zero in the back end. A very well-known trattoria here, Da Maria. Actually, the official name is Falliero. It's kind of Falliero and Maria.
I think you have to turn it a bit more this way.
But we're going to see the opera by Gioacchino Rossini, Bianca e Falliero.
Falliero.
We were in search of Bianca and Falliero, and you've probably never heard of them. There's a good chance you haven't. Actually, I would say if you're not into espresso and you're not into opera, this probably isn't the episode for you. If you're into coffee or espresso, you can find some other videos on the channel, I'm sure. But yes, I'm a big Rossini fan. Of course, yeah. Charles already knows this.
No, me as well. It's actually thanks to you that I was introduced to Rossini. It's fantastic opera.
For me, opera and espresso are kind of, at least in my life, kind of intertwined. I started drinking coffee in Venice when I was selling opera tickets on the street. That was the first kind of thing, really just starting to drink coffee. Then I went to Saudi Arabia and I discovered something about the origin of coffee, but we also had Italian opera singers coming over, and there I already, of course, everybody knows Rossini's Barber of Seville. So did I, of course. I can't remember the first time I heard Figaro here and there. Can you?
I think I was always confused. I thinking it was from another composer.
Hey, you didn't associate it with Rossini.
No.
Well, in any case,
Figaro, because I also thought about this bird in another opera, I think, or maybe Song of Mozart. I think.
For me, the thing was that was the only opera I kind of knew of Rossini. Mm-hmm. And in Saudi Arabia, there was this Italian opera singer. Shout out to Bianca Tugnocchi. And he's actually, well, he's not married to Bianca Tugnocchi, but he's married to an Italian that has friends of Bianca Tugnocchi, if I'm not mistaken. But at that point in time,
yeah,
I didn't.
There was a connection there.
There's some connection.
Yeah.
Any case, shout out to Bianca.
Mm-hmm.
And now we went to see Bianca e Falliero. I mean, what are the chances? But she put me on a road to appreciate more of Rossini's operas. Specifically, she mentioned L'Italiana in Algerie. When I was telling her, I like when opera goes to complete confusion. And they're all singing to each other and what I then spoke to her in Algerie, don't actually know anything about the That's what all about.
Or you became a really great opera fan, and that's just great.
I guess not that there's anything. Because
I mean,
with
like
that.
the
There's
guy has
wrong with it.
the guy has lived a long while ago, and the great composer Rossini, like, he doesn't have that many young fans.
But
so,
of course, my mother-in-law thinks I'm too much into opera. But there you go. I mean, not everybody is of the same convictions, and it's not necessary. So I had a friend, Charles, who came with me on a road trip. We started not with Bianca e Falliero, but with Maria and Falliero.
Yeah.
Where we had a lovely meal.
That was fantastic trattoria.
Yes, Maria is very well known in Umbria, La Torta di Maria, and the place is officially called Falliero. That was also quite a connection. So that was the starting point of our road trip, which then brought us to in the direction of Pesaro.
Yeah.
We've done so many things.
We along the way we kind of were surprised by a most beautiful
hike, an
Hike.
accidental hike.
Next day, we started out in a restaurant.
Second stop, basically, we had our lunch here, a lovely tagliatelle with truffle. Of course, we did have the espresso afterwards, made with a Segafredo capsule machine, which gave kind of an acceptable coffee. Of course, not the best, but that's not their focus. We have already Charles. He's already preparing the car for, continuing our way on the Via Flaminia. Not having
That's
anything
right.
to do with Flanders, but one of the old Roman herwegs. How do you say that in English? Roman roads, basically.
Ancient Roman roads.
All roads lead to Rome, but now we're taking it in the opposite direction to Feno, and then of course Pesaro for the Bianca e Falliero opera. So we're now going through a Roman tunnel on the Via Flaminia. On this drive we're being guided by Charles. Wow, here we have some explanation. So that's quite an old tunnel. That's an old tunnel. It's part of a road trip. You have to pass through tunnels, but you focus on the road.
It's like a metaphor in life. They always say in Flemish, they say a lot of water goes under the bridge, or that's an English saying. I don't remember.
A lot of water under the bridge,
Yeah.
and you stay in the tunnel. This is the full saying, I guess.
Yeah. I asked the lady of the restaurant, what's that on the wall? And she said, oh, well, that's the famous Galleria di Furlo, I think.
Yes.
So that was a Roman passage through a mountain, which is very impressive. And we passed through there and we just saw a little road on the side, little hike.
And we were
trail.
like, why not? Let's give that a try. You actually wanted to go and have a swim in the river.
True.
Which was kind of blocked. So then if you can't go down, go up.
Yeah.
And it said 1.2, which I figured 1.2 kilometers. And that ended up being a journey of, well, in the end it was only 2.4 one way.
Yeah, it was
5 in
it was-
total.
It was 1 hour and 20 minutes instead of 1 hour and 1.2 kilometers. So there was a bit of
By this time I have the cold brew ready. Now Charles, he isn't the biggest fan of the cold brew. But we are in Norcia and we got some of the local water. Now, in
this
case
is, yeah.
you don't know, this is like 4 kilometers from San Pellegrino, so I guess it's
It
up
should
there,
be
the
safe
quality.
to drink. It's
Should be
from
safe
a
to drink.
local fountain.
We got it from the local fountain. And then after our magnificent climb to the terrace at Furlo,
We did it in under an hour.
in under an hour,
We did it in double time. We did.
as you can see, there's a little bit of functional nudity here. It was absolutely necessary. Of course, in my presumption that we just had 1.2 kilometers to walk to this beautiful overview of the nature park around us, and also a first glimpse of the Adriatic. We went to a camping place to set ourselves up and then to get to the opera just on time. So Charles, we're halfway through the opera now. It's looking pretty tight for Falliero. Who are you rooting for?
So, I am rooting for Bianca. You know, she's the lady in the play. She has to make a difficult decision, but the story is framed in a way that she has like to choose between two men. But I hope
Her father or Falliero?
Yeah.
Family honor or true love?
So
I mean, is it really a choice?
I hope she will feel liberated and feel that it's not a dilemma. You can still choose the man you love. You know. It's
So,
not a problem.
hopefully the father will turn around. We'll keep you updated. We'll see how it goes in the second act. But Rossini himself, he's really a forefighter. He's an early fighter for women's rights, and giving them
Yeah.
the spotlight, especially
Pioneer.
here in Bianca Falliero. You know, you think, oh, it's a boy and girl story. It is a boy and girl story. The story is about a boy and girl, but both Bianca and Falliero are women. Because Falliero is a young man, and in the Rossini's operas, that's usually performed by by a woman.
Yeah.
Whose female but lower voice mimics a young man's voice. That's
Yeah.
the concept behind that.
And he was one of the first to do that.
Yes. So of course, men and women, they are different, but in some sense, they get an equal chance, at least in Rossini's operas. So I think
Which
we
is-
should fully support
Yeah, we should fully support that.
Rossini. He
which
was ahead of his time. How was the cold brew?
Actually, I really like it because I am a fan of these kind of beans, I think.
It was Nicaragua. It
Yeah.
was roasted about a month ago.
And I think it has this typical thing like Colombian beans, like the agridulce. That's what I taste. It's almost like caramel. It's very it's delicate, easy drinkable,
chocolatey, caramelly.
chocolatey. It has this.
Even in a cold brew.
Yeah,
Amazing.
yeah. Because when I make my filter coffee, I also let it cool down and it becomes quite cold, and I still like it. So I know that's. So
With some San Pellegrino like water.
So I would
Yes.
say, shout out to the South Americans for promoting filter coffee and also for their way of drinking it colder, because I think it should be more recognized that drinking their beans colder is actually nice.
Can be enjoyable. Well, there you go. And Charles is on his way to appreciating cold brews, I guess.
Yeah.
And see how adaptable the Aeropress is. The Aeropress Go, at least, without even realizing you have 2 cups. So that's how you do it when
That's
you don't
it.
have any other thing available to you. Thanks for following this episode. Thanks, Charles.
And stay critical, you know.
Also for driving me around. He's the driver here. So see you on the next episode. Thank you.
Bye.